So at about 10 a.m. on January 14th, the Rolling Loud lineup was released, and it seems like it kind of has TikTok in an uproar. Now, am I saying this lineup is perfect? No, I'm not saying that at all. But I do feel like people are hating way too much on it. You would have thought that the past years were fucking perfect or something. Did they have maybe bigger artists? Yes, they did. But literally, I sat there and went through the past 2 years specifically. I did 2025 in 2024 and I looked through all the names. Bro, this year, at least for me, might have about the same amount of notable names as last year and the year before that. Now, am I saying this year is going to be better than that? No, I can't like fucking say that. But it's not like this year is like fucking so far down and the past 2 years were just fucking amazing. Like just look at this, for example. This is the list of names for Rolling Loud 2025. If you look, I put a check mark besides every person that at least I noticed and I've seen their name before. It doesn't mean I listen to them a lot or like they're my favorite artist. And also, I might have missed some. I was doing it pretty quick. 32 out of 74 of the names I at least noticed and maybe have heard a song from, or I've seen their name somewhere. Now, does that mean that this list trash? No. Maybe I personally haven't listened to a lot of these people, or maybe I need to get a little bit more tapped in. Last year compared to this year, I would say that last year's list is, if not the same, maybe worse than this year's list. I mean, for example, like the headliners, ASAP and Cardi, literally great headliners, by the way. But as I'm looking through this list, a lot of the names that are on the 2026 list are also on the 2025 list. The same underground rappers that people are complaining about. So I'm trying to understand, like, what's such the big criticism of this year, especially when it's not like last year didn't have a hella underground artists too. Now, I guess, is there more this year? Yeah, but like, we're making it seem like goddamn 2025 was fucking perfect. I mean, just look at this. Fucking T Grizzly in 2020. Yes, I have a check mark by him, but T Grizzly, I'm not saying he's not gonna have a crowd somewhat lit, but come on, bro. Fucking Netspin, Skywater shit. Like, a lot of people I'm seeing that are saying that, oh, last year and then the year before that were so much better. Y'all niggas aren't listening to these people either. So what the hell is, like, what are y'all talking about? And just to clarify, I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with these artists, because I listen to a lot of these artists that I was just saying, Che, Molly Santana, DC the Dawn, all them people, a lot of like the more underground artists, Homicide Gang, even though they're not really underground, but Ken, Destroy Only. If y'all were complaining about 2026, I assume y'all complained about 2025 to somewhat of a degree, like, because a lot of those artists that played before Playboy Cardi are not the most mainstream of artists. Like, let's go to 2024. This is Rolling Loud 2024 Miami, because they did it in 2 different places this year. 56 out of 110. That's actually a pretty good amount of names that I just knew. And I'm not gonna act like this list is bad. This list is actually pretty good. There is a lot of like notable names, a lot of mainstream artists, and even the underground artists. It's a decent amount of them on this list. I wouldn't be mad if you said this is what you want the Rolling Loud list to look like every year. I can see that. Even though I would probably push back on a little bit and then say, I mean, do you want it to always be the same? But I wouldn't be mad. It's more understandable than 2025. Let's move on to Rolling Loud 2024 California. This one was 31 out of 85. We got YG again, Tyga, Party Next Door, Ray Shrimp. In 2024, Lil Tyler, guys, he was 8th on that number. He was a pretty high artist up. 8th, bro. Jalil, Summer Walker. Let me not do her like that. That was gonna be kind of crazy. But like, you get what I'm saying? Too rare, bro. God, we're over exaggerating the hate for this shit, bro. I'm so sorry, we are. If you're making it seem like this year is so much fucking worse than like 2024 or 2025, I think you're genuinely trolling. Are there some improvements I'll get into? Yes, I do think there are improvements, but it's not like this year is gonna be like, oh my god, this is just fucking terrible. I genuinely feel like there is a like large over exaggeration on how bad this lineup is. Like, just scrolling through TikTok, I'm starting to see some of the most fucking terrible takes. Like, literally, this girl got on here and said, no Ski, no Kodak, no Uzi, no Ken, no Travis, no Boosie, no Xavier Wolf, no Baby, no Trippy, no Yeet, no Gunna, no Lonely. I don't think she read the list, because I'm pretty sure Sean Lonely was on there, but whatever. No Lucky, no V's, no JT, no Shaq, no Denzel, no Thugger, no Suicide, no Glow, no Future. I'm starting to feel like people are actually being performative in their hate for this shit. Because while you can have the opinion and say you don't like the list, but there is no possible way in 2026 you're mad that they're not adding Boosie to a 2026 Rolling Loud. Sheck West? I mean, like, I'll mess with Trippie, and Trippie would still have a pretty good performance. I'm not gonna act like he wouldn't. But some of these people haven't had, like, the best years. The only people I would really, really agree with her on is Yeat, Ken, and Uzi. And Future, a little bit. I mean, I guess Gunna. Bruh, I'm not taking this serious. No. I found this dude, and his take to me was, like, so crazy. I'm gonna just hear him out.
Flying across the United States for this. This is the worst Rolling Loud lineup. I say that because I'm comparing it to the 2024 lineup, because look at that. Everybody that got Future, this first row Future, fire. Second row, fire. Travis Scott, first and second row. I actually know everybody on the list. Same thing for Playboi Carti. Everybody.
Now, is it possible he knows everybody on that list? Yes, it is very possible. Is it likely, and do I believe this nigga? No. And honestly, there's two different ways I could take this. Is he saying he knows everybody in the list like what I was doing? Where I was basically saying, okay, I know of these people. Maybe that's what he's doing. But if he's saying he genuinely listens to everybody on that Travis Scott list, either you're fucking lying or you're just fucking crazy. Because I saw Fabio Foreign on that list. And if you're listening to him in 2026, you have an actual problem. But let's hear what else he got to say.
These are real artists. All these guys got real fan bases. They all got bangers. They all got hit songs. And then you go compare to this, like, what the hell is this? I don't even know 90% of the people on this list. I am not going to Florida for this. I'll go back to Florida.
I want to pose like a question. Would you rather go to something where you know most of the list, but a lot of the list isn't good? Or would you rather just try something and say, okay, I don't know a lot of the list, but I know some people and I really like those people, and I'm going to just go to enjoy it. Now, is Rolling Loud very expensive? Yes, it is. So I'm not going to sit here and tell somebody to fucking throw however much fucking money this shit is to go fly across the country and go watch something that they're not exactly used to. I understand that. But just looking at the Travis Scott portion of the list, I want to focus on that part, because that was the part where he said he knew everybody on the list. Don Toliver, okay, that's good. Kodak, okay, that's understandable. Sexy Red, okay. Ski Mask, okay. Lil TJ, NLE Choppa, really? Lucky, okay. Bones, I'm not sure about. YG Marley, I'm not sure about. Four Bats, what you gonna hear? You want to hear a fucking TikTok song over again? V's, okay, that's a good one. Sheck West, Jesus Christ. Lil Tyler in the Big 20. I want to shit on him, but I'm gonna let him, whatever. Fivio Foreign, Xavier Wolf, no. Rob 49, no. Skrilla Baby, I guess. Cash Cobain, BK, that's a good one. Osama San, of course, we love Osama San. Byron Messiah, Fat Nick, Kill Switch, Baby Drill, okay, that's fine. Terry Reed, Rob Banks, Danny like, I do not believe you. I don't believe you sit there and you listening to all this shit. Especially someone like you. If you're one of these people, I would assume you're a little bit more closed-minded and you might not listen to that much music. There's no way you're sitting here telling me you listen to everybody under that Travis Scott headliner. You're fucking lying. Let's hear what else he got to say.
For something similar to this. This is a real Rolling Loud lineup. This is what Rolling Loud is all about. These guys. The openers are even good. Some of the guys that are on the second and third row are better than some of the headliners on the freaking new one.
He said some of the guys on the second and third row. Who in their right mind, respectfully, on this second or third row? The only person I'm gonna let you have is Don Toliver, because I'm not like, I like him, but I'm not like a fiend. I'm not really a young boy fiend either, but like, I can admit and say he was better than most of these niggas. Lucky's and V's, I guess. NLE, fucking Youngboy and Playboi Carti's better than. Bones, I don't listen to. YG Mar, I don't listen to. Four Bats, are we fucking trolling? Shaq West, Lil Tyler, he's second and third row. Fivio Foreign, Xavier, Rob 49, Skrilla Bit. No!
I'm sorry, you guys might disagree, or you might agree, but this is trash. Like, I love Don Toliver, I love Playboi Carti, Youngboy's got bangers, but everybody else before them is garbage. These guys are garbage.
Like, this has to be such an over-exaggeration if you're saying literally everyone else before them is terrible. Because I don't even believe you listen to this shit. That's my main issue. You don't if you're going to say I don't want to go because I don't recognize the names, that would be a better take than saying everybody's garbage. Because you don't listen to this shit.
I bet you, some of the people you watching right now probably got more followers than some of the openers on this list. These guys they are nobodies. Rolling Loud isn't for nobodies. Rolling Loud is Rolling Loud for a reason. It's got bangers. It's supposed to be hit makers. It's people that can move a crowd.
I feel like this nigga is one of the people that, like, if you look through their playlist, it's only shit on the radio and shit that they hear on TikTok.
Because it's a festival, not a concert. There's a difference. Rolling Loud, get your shit together. Because I'm comparing this to last year and 2024 lineup. Way better. This is 2026 is trash.
You can have a different opinion on all that shit. I don't believe this nigga. I think this shit gotta just be to give views. I don't know. This shit really got me thinking though. Do you guys want the same people every year? I know obviously if you're gonna spend your money on something, you would like to go see people that you're familiar with. I understand that. But like, doesn't it get to a point where it's like, damn, we booking him again? And it's funny because I feel like the internet would eventually get tired of this shit. Like if we booked the same people every single time, people would start to complain. And actually, I'm pretty sure that's already happened. That's why the CEO did that shit in the first place. That's why he ended up booking different artists and trying to make it a little bit more diverse. I'm not just fucking lying about this. Like he literally said this shit.
Why or how do you guys, I guess, how you make the decision of not booking certain people at certain times? Like, so they're looking at people who like just dropped albums. So they're saying 21 Savage, Thug, but and they're saying Uzi and Kodak. I think they feel like if it's in Florida, Kodak got to be there.
So what I feel like is if we want to stick around and evolve as a festival, we can't just give you the same lineup every time. And the funny thing is I used to see comments all the time in the last few years like, oh, this lineup looked the same as last year. So we made a conscious effort to bring a lot of new shit. 2 out of the 3 headliners have never headlined, and a lot of the artists on the bill have never performed at Rolling Loud. And now that we do that, you got people like, well, you wanted something different, didn't you?
Yeah,
you know what I mean? All right, so maybe you are not familiar with a lot of these artists on the bill, but all these artists are streaming crazy, and all these artists are selling out shows. So you might be Unk status now. You know, it just might not be for you. We made a real conscious effort to book real young here and like, you know, book some new shit. Now, it's not that we're never going to book all those other artists. But another thing, too, is that a lot of those artists you just mentioned are headliners now. 21 Savage is a headliner. Lil Uzi Vert is a headliner. Who else did you mention? J. Cole, been a headliner.
Yeah.
Yeet, in my opinion, is not quite a headliner yet. You could make an argument that he's a headliner, though. I know he would make that argument. And a lot. So they look at our 2018, 2019, 2017, like all these past lineups of ours where these artists that are now headliners were on the line under the headliner, and they're like, look at this, like, get back to this. And it's like, bro, that's not possible from a money perspective, but also from an ego perspective, from a status perspective. Like, everybody wants to be on the top now. So it's like they're gonna wait until we give him that offer to be top dog on the flyer.
I would say probably about the bulk of everything he said I agree with. The only things I would probably push back on him, he said Yeet wasn't a headliner. I disagree with that. And he said 21 Savage is. I think once upon a time 21 Savage was a headliner, but I think especially with that last album, I'm not saying that erases his whole career, but I think that at bare minimum, you gotta acknowledge Yeet and 21 Savage are comparable at this point in their career. Like, Yeet has gotten extremely big. So that's the only thing I would probably disagree with him on. Regardless though, I'm not saying the Rolling Loud lineup is perfect. I personally probably wouldn't have chose Don Toliver as a headliner. That's another thing. I think Yeet is a more of a headliner than Don Toliver, but that's okay. But I wouldn't have chosen him. I don't think that necessarily means he's bad or anything, but I would have chose somebody else. And honestly, even if Yeet wasn't a headliner, I would at least just want him there. Now, like the CEO said, there's a lot of egos involved, so maybe that might be the reason of why Yeet might not be there. Maybe he did ask him to just perform and he said no. Also, another change I would make, I want to see Ken Carson there. But by the way, they literally already said there's going to be surprise guests every night and there's going to be more artists added on. So there's still probably I would give a high chance that Yeet, Uzi, and Ken probably end up performing or surprising some way, somehow. At the end of the day, I think I might end up actually go to Rolling Loud this year, so I'm still excited. But I understand a lot of the internet, them niggas not fucking with it. But me personally, I'm excited for this shit. What y'all think?